Hi, second graders. Toys are fun and math is fun, so I'm not sure what could be better than math with toys. All you need is something to write with and something to write on, and we will get started. Take a look at these game cards from a memory game. How many are there all together? We could definitely count them by ones by counting every card, but we're second graders, so let's think about different ways that we can figure out the total. Do you see any groups? How many cards along the top row? How about the bottom row? Does that help you figure out the total? This is how I recorded my thinking when I was trying to figure out the total number of cards. So I noticed that all the cards were in groups of 2 and that there were 10 groups. There were 5 groups along the top and 5 groups along the bottom. So I could add those 10 twos and come up with 20, or I could count by twos, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 to determine the total. I also know that 10 times 2, or 10 groups of 2, is 20, and there are 10 of each card and then another 10 of each card, and 10 plus 10 is 20. So there's lots of different ways that I can figure out the total number of cards in this collection. Look at this picture of Bryson's vehicles. They each have 2 wheels. Can you figure out how many wheels total without counting each wheel? I can count these groups of 2, 2, 4, 6, and I know that 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. I can also write it this way, and maybe this is how you thought about it. 3 groups of 2 equals 6. So there are 6 wheels total in this picture. Look at these gears of Lila's. They're also arranged in twos or in pairs. Can you use some of your strategies to figure out the total number of gears? Maybe you can count them by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 gears total. Maybe you can see what you already know. Thinking about Bryson's picture, we know that 3 of these twos is going to equal 6. I bet you know what 4 twos equal. 8. Can you figure out what 6 plus 8 is? I bet you can. 6 plus 8 equals 14. That's another way of figuring out the total number of gears. If we have 7 groups of 2, one way you can write that is 7 times 2 equals 14. Good thinking, second graders. River was doing math with his Lego people. He was thinking about each of these Lego people as groups of 4 when he was counting their arms and legs all together. How many arms and legs all together in this picture? I can tell that there are 5 Lego people, and they each have 4 when you think about their arms and legs all together. So we need to figure out what 5 groups of 4 is. That's a lot of 4's to add up. So when we look at the addition, it would be all these 4's added together. 4's are a little harder to skip count than 2's were. Second graders are really good at doubles. So I bet you know in a snap what 4 plus 4 is. It's 8. And because you know your doubles, I know that you know what 8 plus 8 is. That's 16. Then we just have this 16 and this 4 to add together. What is 16 plus 4? That's right, it's 20. So those 5 groups of 4 in River's Lego people is 20 arms and legs all together. Sadie was using her stuffed animals to do some math. Each of her stuffed animals had 4 paws. She had 8 stuffed animals, and she was trying to figure out how many paws altogether in her collection. I'm going to let you think of what that would look like, make a picture in your head, and see if you can begin to write down your thinking. Here are Sadie's 8 stuffed animals. They each have 4 paws. How did you figure out the total? Maybe you remembered River's Lego people and you knew that 5 of those stuffed animals would have 20 paws, and then you just have to figure out how many more the 3 extra stuffed animals would add to the collection. I looked at Sadie's picture this way. I saw these 4 stuffed animals, and there are another 4 right here. So I thought if I could figure out what 4 groups of 4 was, then I could double that and I would have the total. So what is 4 fours? I think I can use what I know about doubles. 4 plus 4 equals 8. Here's another 8. So 4 fours equals 16. So if there are 16 paws in that top row, there are also 16 paws in the bottom row. Do you know what 16 plus 16 is? That's right. 16 plus 16 is 32. Here's that number 32 again, only we're not doing math with stuffed animals, we're doing math with cars. So I have some toy cars, and I already figured out the total number of wheels. It's 32. So how many toy cars did I have? Can you use your math from Sadie's stuffed animals to think about how many cars I had if I have 32 wheels and each car has 4 wheels? Take a minute and think about that. Toy cars. Is this what you thought it might look like? Let's check our total by counting by 4s. Each of these cars has 4 wheels. We'd say 4 plus 4 more is 8, plus 4 more, 12, plus 4 more, 16, plus 4, 20, 4 more, 24 plus 4, and those last 4 wheels, they're all of our 32 wheels. So we can say that 8 groups of 4 is 32. And if you have 32 wheels total, and they're in groups of 4, you know you've got 8 groups of 4 for the 32 wheels. Here's another groups of 4 problem to think about. Taylor counted all the paws of her cats, and she counted 12 paws altogether. How many cats did she have? Can you write an equation to match your thinking? Go ahead and make a sketch of Taylor's cats showing the total number of 12 paws and figuring out how many cats she has in her collection. Does this match your thinking? Taylor has 3 cats. It takes 3 fours to equal 12, which was the total number of paws that she had. So 3 groups of 4 equals 12. Great thinking. Here's a challenge for your math brain. This one might take a while to figure out, but stick with it. You can do it. This is a picture of Hudson's crayon box, and each of those sections has 8 crayons. You can tell that there are 8 sections in his crayon box. So he has 8 groups of 8 crayons. That is a lot of crayons. Can you make a sketch or do some adding of groups that you know to figure out the grand total of Hudson's crayons? Go ahead and get started. I see some numbers that I already know what they are when I add them together. I know 8 plus 8 is 16. So now I have 4 16s to add. Well, I know that 16 is 10 plus 6. So I have 10, 10 more, 10 more, 10 more. When I add those 4 10s, I know that I have 40. Now I have 4 6s. What is 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6? I can go back to those doubles that I know pretty confidently. 12 plus 12. There's another 10 and a 2 and a 10 and a 2. So I know that 12 plus 12 is 24. 24. So now I need to add 40 plus 24. What is 40 plus 24? 40 plus 20 is 60, and then I know that 60 plus 4 is 64. So 40 plus 24 equals 64. That is a lot of crayons. Colin was counting the laces on his footballs. There are 8 laces on each of these footballs, and Colin has 7 footballs, so he's got 7 groups of 8. How many laces altogether? Make a sketch, write some equations to show your thinking, and don't forget what we learned about Hudson's crayons. We know that 8 groups of 8 is 64. Can that help you solve Colin's math problem? Did you figure out Colin's math problem? Here's what I did to get started. I imagined an 8th football so that it matched Hudson's crayons. I sketched in 8 footballs because I know that 8 groups of 8 equals 64. Then I just need to take this football back out. So 64 minus 8. I can do that with jumps on a number line. So I'm going to start on 64, and I know I need to go back 8. I can't do that very easily in my head, but I can go back 4, and I know I'll land on 60. Then I can go back another 4. That's a little easier for me, and I know I will land on 56. So I know that 7 groups of 8 is going to be 56. That way I don't need to count all those laces on every football. I can use what I know to figure out the total. You and your at-home learning partner can have lots of fun doing math with your toys. Just set up different groups of your toys. Make sure that each item in the group has the same number of things to count, the same number of wheels, the same number of paws, the same number of dots on a Lego block. See if you can use what you know about counting in groups to figure out the grand total. Maybe your at-home learning partner can set up some puzzles for you to figure out, and you can set up some groups of toys for them to figure out. Have fun and keep learning at home.